Hello Blender folks, here we are again. I'm Gnomes and we were solving bendy bone stuff before, right? And this time I've done it for the shoulder, right? But I forgot something very important, which was that because we have those handles now, I can use them as reference for the deformed bones of the structure of the arm. That is, so we can use these targets, like tangent, start handle, and handle for the humerus arm bone or upper arm bone, and also the forearm bone. So same here. It's not, because before I had these targets like in some bizarre anomalous structure, it was targeting its previous deformed bone. That works actually for bendy bones, but it's not very versatile. It's quite complicated. So, and yes, it's parented offset to the arm bone. So anyways, with these targets now, these as targets for this bone, even if the bone goes beyond, you see, normally you would have here, but no, we can have them target after, and it works, right? This targeting is, and so I forgot that, and probably that slightly improved my deforms on the overall rig, but that's not what I'm gonna show now. So I'm not satisfied with that, but I've actually destroyed what I had here for the rig, because then I had two helper shoulder bones, and that was not required. I think that since I have a spline skinning there, I could just discard the other one, and then I'll try to solve this setup with different things. And hold on, the color here is wrong. Okay, so here is the shoulder bone. It was a hold on, also did I no, okay, it was just that one that had the wrong color. Now let me hide that too, and actually let's go back to our selection set here for what I'm gonna work in this thing. Oh, I didn't save, I didn't assign. I thought I had assigned. So I need the shoulder, I need this, I need the pole target and the hand, master hand. Okay, then assign, and then we go. So what I'm gonna do here, so let's start saving different files. So move on number 5. The date of the day I think is wrong, but doesn't matter. And so what I'm going to do here is just as for the leg rig. Hold on. So I have two Ike targets, one for the leg here, you see, and one for the shin bone, or and one for the thigh bone. So this one, and this is the master, the Ike target. And this makes the fact that I have two pole targets. This one is for the bigger one is for this, and the smaller one here is for this regarding. So it's a pole target for the Ike bone constraint of the shin bone. So you see here, control shin pole. Well, you don't need to memorize those, just names. So it's this one. Okay, you got the idea. And then of course, then I have even a more complicated thing, that is this Ike chain length of 2. So this is the most amazing thing that I found in all this stuff so far, is that yes, we can have these split channels, let's say like that, of multidimensional Ike chain. So this is the Ike chain of length 1 just for this, and this is the Ike chain of length 1 just for this. But we can also have a third Ike bone constraint with a chain length. It's not this bone, it's actually a mechanism rig that is like a ghost rig. It's behind it. It has, let's say it has lower priority, but at the same time higher priority. It's confusing. So you see that I cannot explain it. It's just, but you see there's this chain here. This chain is for, it's a double, it's for this chain length. There's a Nike bone constraint here. It is not following straight the deformation bones and nor the leg, but it's this mechanism chain which allows to have this sort of double controlling. And the problem with this solution, although it works well for this splitting, there are things that I'm not sure that are possible. So for example, yeah, leverage is kind of tricky. I couldn't use yeah, maybe if you watch other videos, you said you've heard I saying this thousands of times already, but for who are coming occasionally right now, why not? I should mention it. I'm mentioning this also because I'm not sure if I will make a master bone like that, a double this mechanism here for the arm. Currently the arm has just it's not split, so it's just, it's I key but with just one chain length, and it's like if it was full F key, but I'm not sure if that's the idea, but the cool thing is that I have these ways of controlling these things. Okay, so, and I can move the shoulder in synchrony with everything with cursor, because I don't have an F key system to move the shoulder for everything. Perhaps it is possible that I just use this stuff here with some target there, and then I can, well, do all those things, right? So that's fine enough. This whenever you can use this is very useful for an image, for example. Yeah, maybe here's not okay, I have the torso, then I can, why not, pivot around this thing, right? So that's cool, right? At least for, or here. So yeah, we could even create a pivot bone for this, and then create a pivot bone constraint to the torso. But why create all those systems if you can just do that? And so the problem for this rig is that so far I didn't find a way to implement something regarding leverage of the, yeah. So this is critical. We can do this. I have an alternative system, but I'm not going to show it. Okay, so I was talking about the pole target. Sorry, I got lost in thoughts and explanations. But the thing here is that even this simple one here, currently I just have one pole target, and sometimes this creates confusion. So I need to, currently this pole target is being used for both. Okay, let's go, hold on, let's get this thing here. Okay, so currently this pole target, which is named control elbow pole left, is being used by both this I key bone constraint and this I key bone constraint. So you see, they are using the same pole target. Well, this sounds like a cool idea. It's relatively feasible, but at some point it will break, because unless there is some smart controlling, but no, I think even that is not enough, because there is an intersection around here, right? Like you see the shape here of the, where if this position is critical, well, as for here it will be okay, because the same positioning for those targets would be good if the bone was here, and same for perhaps this at some point. We don't see it very well here, but whatever. You get the idea. There are some regions where only one pole target solves the positioning for both at the same time in an okay way. But when it reaches for the intersection, things start to break apart because they can't work very well. It looks like around here, right? And so this forces us to find another alternative, and that is just to have a second. So let's do this. I'll duplicate this thing and I'll call yeah, we're gonna change the naming here. So I'll make this the secondary one, so it will be much smaller. So I'm gonna change its not working with B bones here, so let's collapse this panel, and then I will make it smaller, right? Something like that, maybe not that small, and then something like that. Yes. No, we're gonna make it smaller, so we'll make sure. Okay, now it's better. Let's symmetrize that, and also for the naming, I want these names to be let's do it manually. So this one I'll keep for the arm, and this one I'll use for the forearm. So this will be regarding the arm. So I'm gonna change here, and this I'm gonna change for the forearm, and then we don't need that. And then I better perhaps delete the other side. They have wrong namings. Yes, these are older ones. They are inverse because of this starting position. Okay, then we get this, and then we go and symmetrize. Okay, now everything is matching properly. Yes. Okay, so now I'm gonna of course make the switching here. So this is good, and this forearm we immediately change here. And now let me see which would be the positioning of this. So first of all, let's get yeah, we're gonna hide those things, we don't need them, and we're gonna add this to this thing. And now things start to get interesting finally. So and complicated, right? So I must know what I must do here. Okay, let's select all that, then make all this thing hide also in edit mode. Now of course they are moving, they are located slightly differently, so this could be enough to solve this thing. This bone is bone constraint with some damp track to the shoulder bone, is that it? Yes, and I don't make any shoulders. Well, I could just use that master shoulder, right? Why not? So let's think it makes more sense. And then, but I can hide this thing because this will give me freedom to change these in more critical ways. And I am also going to, just for now, delete this thing, so I can have a better understanding of what's happening. So let's reset this. Alright, and so as we see in this starting position, you see that the mesh in this color here, the bright color, is the one that is the dorsal of the arm, or I don't know how do you call it, but it's supposed to be the upper part. Here the pole target, this will be the proper solution. You see the dorsal of the hand, the dorsal of the, I should paint the mesh on the same color, right? That would be accurate. And so this would be the correct positioning for this. And the reason this one gets aligned with the arm is because this is a master I key target, right? And I make it with that bond constraint so that it would automate some sort of motion. It makes things easier, so ideal, let's change this, hold on. So its starting position would be that, and here this pole target must be right in front of it, right? Maybe below even, but not upper. You see, it starts to roll the arm, the forearm, in a strange way. So if it stays just like slightly below, it sounds good, like straight and below. And actually it's not much a question of this, because there is a plane. We must visualize the pole target in some sense as a plane facing the, well, facing the orientation of the bomb, whatever. And I don't know exactly, but it's intuitive, we know. So there's a plane here, I cannot cross it around, but as long as it is anywhere right here, but it is not crossing the plane, you see there, it's okay. Of course, if it stays on a better region as the forearm moves, you see now it's starting to approach this plane. So as long as it's, and so the original position, if it is starts here or here, matters, because as the forearm rotates, of course this will rotate too thanks to my contraption, but sometimes these the position in here will make it closer, and sometimes when it's further away, and there are other rotations, right, which matters so for the arm, and so all this can get confusing, but if we find a good starting place, that's fine. So currently I'm going to, so this starting position for the forearm is certainly bad. So first let me, well, I don't need the alignment here, I'll care about that later. So let's try something like that. Alright, but of course this is not the position that I want for this, so I will want it to be sort of behind it, while that one, it for some reason that I found before, it was better to leave it here, even if it's better. So this bone actually is not parented, actually this is just a start position on this joint. Its parent, however, is the root bone. Yeah, root relations, root bone, master root. Okay, and these are parented to. Sometimes this is not a good idea, but yes, they are parent to the master I key for this deformed bone, for the bone constraint of this deformed bone. Okay, so as I currently, this bone is okay here or here because it's respecting the plane of this. You see? It could stay there as well, but I don't know, I decide to have it here. So let's activate this thing. And now this is the default rest pose for this thing. Rest pose, right? Rest position. Rest pose with the bone constraint, the damped track. The only bone constraint it has, although it has the parenting, but the root bone is there, it stays in place, no problem. So let's see, as I move this thing, I must make sure that these both pole targets, you see, now I have some better organization, because my pole targets are not shared. It's there are two pole targets, and so for this one it's better to have this relation with spatial relation, and this one. So you see, there is a space between the two, and that space between the two is the critical one for this kind of rig. If I had any of those one in the middle, It's still okay, but it's risk. There's some impossibility. I've checked, although here it doesn't appear, but this gives a better idea. And so by splitting this target, yes, more bones, more things to solve, but much more accurate results. And so you see that the arm now is not rolling crazily, and I'm just moving the forearm, the arm. Wait, this is wrong. This has got an old name, so this is master arm I key. It would be, just as for the leg, it would be an equivalent to the master thigh. This is not, I'm not calling it I key right now, but it's Nike target. I mean I key target. By this I mean I key bone constraint target. Here, this thing. So I'm not giving it this kind of naming to simplify the thing. Let's see, where's here, select, okay, hide. So apparently this was relatively simple. Thankfully I already had a setup for, I forgot to assign it. Alright, so let's reset here. So let's pause a little more. Let's see if it's real. I have some rotation here. This allows me to make, but it's not. We can make some rolling here of the forearm. The problem is that maybe this rolling is not good for that bone. But if I check what I've did for the legs, the parenting for the smaller bones are this and this one. Yes, wait, I don't see which are the selected. Let's see. The parenting for, yes, they are both parented. They are kind of similar. So this one is the shin pole target. It's different because the leg is not exactly the same thing. There are a lot of difference in general, some difference, but we see there is this L thing, right? So this will require some analysis. And this one, the pole target, the big one on this other color, this is for the other chain, and this is not related, and I can't parent it the same way to this because this bone, a simple way was to parent it to the mechanism chain here, and so this allows that when I move the mechanism chain, it moves this bone also, but since it's just offset parenting, I still have control over it individually, and so this moves the leg by not moving exactly the chain, but which doesn't constrain the deaf bones, but it moves the master bone. And this one, and it also moves this one because this is for the, see? Because also this is parented to, yes, to that one. The big foot is the parent of the small foot. But these are the ones that actually control the I key bone constrained bones that directly relate to the deformed bones. And let's see what is happening also is that where is the yes, so it has a different pole target, and this pole target is moved by it's here, so it's moved by this kind of thing. So this I key here, we can do some funny things here. For example, I have the leg light here. We can move stuff like that. There are, you see, I cannot move totally as a normal I key because the position of the other master foot, minor master foot, has some influence on the transforms. Yes, I mean the weight, but I can reset it and it doesn't do much because this bone has, and so this is one problem that I couldn't find a solution yet. Maybe there isn't a solution, so it would be a drawback for this kind of rig that combines multidimensional stuff, is that I cannot leverage the shin bone through this chain, because this chain is right, because this bone is IK bone constrained to this, and so this cannot push. This is just a one chain length IK chain, so it cannot push what's beyond. This one can, and it does indeed, but for its own IK chain. Here the mechanism bones, you see. And what I found that we can do, of course, in terms of leverage, so even if I rotate this bone, it cannot leverage the shin, but I can do that. Fortunately, to some extent, I can do this with 3D cursor. It doesn't work very well there, but yeah, I can leverage with the I key, but it's not very precise, so this is very annoying. This could be fixed if I were able to make an advanced foot rig here. I tried to implement it, but to no avail. Maybe it's not possible. So maybe I'm missing something. So this is a big experimental challenge. But however, for the leverage of this part, you know, when there's a bending on the toes here, this I can do with collapsing physics. I was able to do this with the floor or whatever object there. If it becomes a wiggle bone collapsing thing, currently they should be muted. I thought I had muted that. Well, the collapsing would make it to bend automatically if we do this. I'll show you right now. Just stop talking too abstract stuff, and let's take some time to do it. So let's see. Okay, it's activated. Let's push it down. And of course I'm not sure if the collapsing is gonna work here, because a long time I don't check it. Let's play. I've made some transforms. Yeah, maybe it's not working for... Oh, yeah. Okay, so you see, so, but this doesn't mean that all the mechanism of leverage will work. It just means that I can push the foot on the ground, and the bend, and this is a bendy bone exactly because it would bend in a better way the thing. So this was experimental anyways, and this is a critical problem for this rig, for the foot. So I'm still researching a solution for that, this leverage thing, but I'm afraid there might be not a good solution, so I'll have to rely on those alternative stuff, and by the end it might not compensate. But the cool thing is that I don't need a FKI key switch. I don't even know how to animate stuff with that, with those Rigify. At some point I will learn, but currently I'm experimenting. So let's check all the pole targets things if everything is working as expected. Maybe here would be a situation where maybe I should... Fortunately, these things are parented offset, so we can... So you see, here would be a good situation where we see that if it was beneath, somewhere like here, it would be better than if it was straight in front of it. So maybe, yeah, so be something like here, right? So below, I believe it's below. So what would mean is that's perhaps that. Let's see that again. Did that work at all? No, it was closer here. Of course, this pose starts to get a bit puzzling, so maybe it was... Hold on. Somewhere like this. What did that mean? Well, it's truly below and something more diagonal, maybe. Yeah. Okay, I'm starting to get the idea. Let's see. Well, it's already something closer to here and further to this direction and closer to that. Let's see. Okay, so what about this? Here. Oh, because I went too far, and so this is a problem with this is a problem with this bound constraint I couldn't fix yet, but actually this is working, and this now you see it's crossing. So this might be better to be even more to the right, to the left side of this. So let's do this. You see, that's why I've got it so far to the left, and maybe it requires go even more. So now this seems to be better. No, it's still all the crazy rotations. Okay, so now this is now this is not. That is the problem of the, yes, as I approached here, this bone, if you see on the, I could, yes, I need to improve this thing, because it's dumped track. It starts rolling around the target or something like that, not sure. Wait. Yeah, so this is getting complete. So I need to solve this in some way. I've tried other stuff here. Limit location would be another attempt, but I failed. So there are some critical things here I still don't know how to solve. So this looks good, but as soon as I start to move this around, yeah, this starts to rotate because I need distance, right? This bone needs to push, but it's yeah. So this will wreak havoc the pole targets. Hold on, let's see how going the rest. Before I try to solve everything. Okay, so apparently is this correct? No, this looks a bit strange right now. Yeah, so apparently there are other poles that are suffering. Maybe I shouldn't have got this to that direction so far, something closer to here. Let's reset this before. Okay, this is right. This is correct. This is the lower part of the arm. This like that. Then wrist twisting. That's correct. This is the bendy bone feature. Bendy bone twisting feature. Here, so this looks good. I could attempt other, and here we can, yeah, we can. Here the rotations, at least individual, this would be hard to solve, but yeah, this is apparently this is correct. Let's reset these rotations. Maybe, yeah. Then for here, I believe here this thing should be maybe something like more downwards. What does that mean? Downwards. Okay, it literally means downwards, so the rest position could be for the left one, little down. Maybe a little more, let's see now. Alright, this seems to be fine. And mostly satisfying. I can always roll like that. Alright, but then there is the frontal thing. Okay, it's too far away. And then yes, okay, so everything there seems to be working except, hold on, here it's a bit complicated. Yes, it's again the same thing. Maybe it's this target here that is too close to the, I need a target that would be further away from this point. So maybe it's just because of the target. I need something to the, okay, yeah, so because this is a posable bone, so what I could do is attempt to, but there is even more thing here. If I want to exaggerate this, and I could solve this with this rotation, but then for animating, right, you get all this stuff. Another solution would be not to have these bones rotate, like just some sort of offset copy location, which is not very simple to do. But I believe even those natural rotations, the offset parenting, are required to simplify the rig. But then at this point they add complication because exactly of this thing. There is a bone there that is a mechanism bone that I'm used to. It was the previous target. I could target it and target its, you see, the tails, which would be this thing here. Well, I don't see here, but it will be the active, it will be there. But even there, since it stays in the middle, this is complicated. It might improve this thing, but you see, as the dumped track approaches, it starts rolling again. So I would like to use this thing because it simplifies so much, and this orientation, it's kind of helpful. But maybe if I displaced it, let's try this. Doesn't seem to help that much. I should, yeah, let's hide this thing. So mostly it is this thing that I need to solve. No, it's still bad. Alright. Maybe it got some slight improvement that eventually it breaks there. Of course, this is very exaggerated. You see the deforms here are much better than last live. What happens is that I got the deaf bones. I forgot the deaf bones, which are bendy bones. I forgot to retarget them to the tip, to the handles. So now, so their target bendy bone. So now they have proper targets for these handle controllers, and even though these were not made original for it, they are made for the helper bones here on the joints. We can see nothing. Whatever, they also, these handles just for the legs and everything, they help with, you see, they are made original for this kind of bone here in the joint, which do not make part of the main chains, right? but then we can reuse these targets, even they are out of the chain, we can use to for these, if they are bendy bones, these deformed bones are bendy bones, then they can benefit in terms of deforms, and this is pretty interesting. This is something I found on the way. Same for the type bone, so maybe it is, yes, it's targeting this start handler, so apparently this helps a little in that rig that used that on a tutorial that I don't have right now. It's in the description of some previous live, whatever, some week ago maybe. Well, whatever, doesn't matter. Let's go back here, and yes, trying to solve this. It's just a bone constraint problem, but in general, overall, this is pretty automated. Let's see. Oh yeah, again, I'd love to have the selection sets in some tab here on the sidebar region. Or if we do that, wait, it is working now, mostly. Maybe it's because I have reset, no, maybe because I didn't reset the position of the balls, the ball targets. Yeah, that's why. So it doesn't matter so much how far they are, because the rotations, the roll of this thing is really high. So what if I reduce this influence? Maybe would that help? Not so, no, not really. Let's try more, but then it gets this, yeah, doesn't help. So what do we yeah, you see how fast it rotates. Why is this pose like that now? Oh, because I changed the root position of that. Alright, so it didn't seem to help. Oh, because maybe if I do that, I should also move its bones too. So let's see. If I move it below, let's move it the others. Okay, I'm not gonna test everything like just really fast, right? But what interests more is there. Okay, so this is no, still not. What happened is that by moving that back, maybe it requires. So maybe this is the solution. This bone must have a starting position far back. This is strange for a rest pose, right? So it might not be a good idea, and yeah, there we go. Lots of issues with that. Yeah, no, let's not do that. And let's also let's try this and see if this is accurate. Maybe it has little to do, right? Let's try this. Oh, this is a way to try out this stuff. Alright, so this is the limit here. If I can try only moving these ones, we could do that. So let's go here. It's a lot of difference. So Now, apparently changing this doesn't do nothing, so let's leave this bone. What about sideways? Like that. Well, that just, yeah, it's the targeting, is the damped track, of course. So it doesn't matter really. There's still one last thing I want to try, so let's just get this here. And yeah, I don't want to lose this thing, so do that. A little difference here doesn't matter. And then, okay, so definitively I need a bone that is on the other direction. What if I target the other shoulder? Difficultly the other shoulder will do any crazy movement, right? Is one of the good targets that I could have on the other side of the character. So, or I could create a mechanism bone for this kind of targeting. So let's start with, well, I'll pick this one. I'm gonna copy here, but I'm gonna use the right side. So let's see. Alright, it kinda improved. Yes, so this kind of improved, but let's see the rest. Thankfully, the shoulder won't move in radical ways that I hope so, that wouldn't, the other shoulder, right? So this is probably safe. And yes, okay, this is this solved the problem, folks. So here we go. Now I like to play some music, but I need to find for live streaming on YouTube some stuff that are safe to use, like free from copyright, whatever. I'm really concerned about this. Oh, there's some problem here. What is that? Ah, this positioning, you see, it's too close, so this is a problem. I need to have some spacing here, so too close. But if I do not make it here, yeah, too close to the, let's say, if I put it here, yeah, it's still happening. It's here as it approaches this line, so this diagonal, it requires to be more to the front, like I believe this diagonal must be something more like that, or it's a question of up and down, not sure. This is why sometimes it's better to take this off. Let's see. Or it should, okay, now it's good, unless, until it gets there. So get it farther away. Okay, that's still happening. And then the problem is I cannot rotate, I can roll, but the damped track doesn't allow me to make other sort of rotation, unfortunately. So I've tried, for example, if I could use, for example, instead of damped track, if I could use lock track, would probably be even worse. What's damped track here? This is for the hand. This is not gonna be useful. This was an old system. Limit location, definitely no. Can clean that out. Let's see here. Oh, hello, Aaron Heredia Cortez. Sorry, I wasn't looking at the chat. Welcome, welcome. Maybe that's I don't know how to enable notifications for the chat. often missing stuff here, but hope you get the message. Let's see. Hi. Alright, let's go back here. I try to stick to the chat more often. I used to use Linux, where I could get the chat panel, chat window in top of everything, but here I cannot make this stuff. Let's see here, and okay, let's continue what I was doing here. I'm starting to look for, okay, I'm looking at the, yeah, there's no option enable notifications. I just can't find any way. Just don't notify me of anything. Sorry for that, I'm still new to this stuff, but at some point I'll find. I need more research anyways. Let's go back here and so let's see. Okay, so this thing seems to be working. What have I done there? Okay, I've made these adjustments and it seemed to solve this interaction, right? Oh, because I, of course, lock track. I was making a lock track this time. Okay, you see, taking off the bone constraint helps, but actually I want this for automation. Otherwise, I have to be pausing those things and rotating manually while. This is why we have the parenting and the dumped track, but lock track. So I'm gonna copy this thing, like this target. Oh, it needs the armature first, then okay. Lock track, of course, is the Y. So what this lock track allows us to do? What's the difference? So far, it allows us to get locked stuff. Okay, so the this won't make a difference because we're not using the shoulder tail or the opposite one. Doesn't matter much. Locked axis. Yeah, here this will lock another axis for us. Oops. This will lock another axis for, again, and this is not rotate. Okay, we rotate X, rotate Z, locked. What if I lock the, okay, this but it's not very good, this transform here. It's a bit chaotic. Yeah, no, this is not very good to control. Not really. Why? Then it doesn't roll anymore. No, it still rolls. Strange. Let's reset the rotations. But then there you see, because yeah, it's not. This is actually this breaks the bone constraint in some sense, I think. So X, Z. This would allow rotate Y. Yeah, then the Y is really weird. It's rotating in, tilting in some strange way. Let's see. Okay, this lock track here when with locked Z seems relatively fine, but let's see for the Okay, then I start to have trouble there, and yeah, really doesn't, it's confusing, so no. And then we could also have, the options are not a lot, right? Stretch 2, no, probably not. Track 2. Track 2 is also, I'll try it again. So let's see how that would behave. So it's negative y, okay, same here. Then there's also this thing, and there target z, maybe target workspace, yes. So let's see here. So differently from the other, right, the dumped track, which will do that to the bone. Oh, because this is broken. Okay, hold on. Now z. So the up is z now. Okay, this makes sense. But I cannot rotate. This will break the bone constraint probably. Okay, let's assume this is what the target z does. Apparently nothing in this case. And then as we do here, same problem, and I cannot rotate. All rotations are locked. I cannot do anything. Let's see. Yeah, it's free, but I cannot rotate anyhow. What if I get free of the target z? No. And then if I do the x, really nothing special and still cannot rotate. So this doesn't allow me to much freedom of choice. And all the rest is like, what if I get the z instead? Would that be any good? Well, this will be another idea, but this is just a different orientation, right? So maybe it's better with that composition of spatial composition of the no, not that well. So far is not terrible, but we'll see what happens as we get the let's look for the chat. No. Okay, let's go back, and so here yeah, no, this is bad. Yeah, so no. Track 2 also not worth. Wait, hold on, what was the conjunction that I had? They are having, oh, this thing is backward, but what matters is this. Okay, this one to the bottom and this one front. All right, so let's delete and let's opposite shoulder to make it clear. So strangely enough, one thing that was working is to have this in like an invert positions. Okay, let's try something like that. So this one go lower and this one go up, something like that, I guess. So let's see. Here I start again to have problems, so this could be solved if I just get this more to the left, right? Even more to the left. Now, yes. Then let's see, what about other motion here? Is this fine? No, this is not very good. It's too close to the There's some twisting there. Yeah, can it be solved by this? Nope. This is, yeah, this is about the other bone. All right. Yeah, so this can't go down that way, but it could do something like that. And there are other systems, alright, but I'm making this because it's much simpler, and in most cases it works. It's been working properly, and the cool thing is that it still allows me to have these if I want this manual rotation, so I keep the rotation for this thing. Alright folks, so apparently, and I can of course pause manually if things get really bad. And I know I will keep researching, but experimentally, and there are already solutions for this that exist. But I need to, but this is special because it is used for this dual I key change. So alright folks, so the last thing here, so this means that I have full target here. This yeah, not may, required to. Let's solve this thing here. This I'll go back to here. Then yes, one thing that I didn't put here, I have to add it, sorry, is that we need what about this I key chain, right? A double for the, because sometimes we really want to have, instead of picking two bones, yes, we can do that, but it's not optimal, although adding the other multi I key chain system would cluster this part of the rig with more bones, and it might become a bit confusing. So I'm not sure that for the arm it is that relevant. So I think I'm not, but the good thing is that I've never tried to do it in the arm. So maybe this is an opportunity to do it experimentally. I'll just sort of copy what I have for the leg, although it's not a copy paste, right? We need to make it in hold on, I'll need to make it for I need to make it for special for here. It doesn't have a chain, mechanism chain. It have part of it for another thing, some sort of shoulder rig. So let's see this. Yeah, I still doubt should I do it or not. Okay, let's attempt it, but I'm not doing it immediately right now. I'll make a new live for that, so I'll be back later. Have a nice day or night. Take care. Happy blending.